Hello and welcome back. We are here to talk with you about Social Security scams. And we're here with Maine State Police, Lieutenant Pat Hood, Judy Shaw from the Maine Office of Securities, and Jane Margison from AARP Maine. Welcome, guys. Let's start with Judy and talk about what are some common scams and what are some things people should look out for.
Oh, thanks, Katie. It's good to be back with everybody and good to be back with everyone who's watching as well. Social Security scams. So since almost all seniors receive Social Security benefits, it's not surprising that scam artists would try to leverage Social Security as an opportunity to perpetrate fraud through emails, through phone calls, and in the past, letters. We don't see it as much, but still people will receive letters that look very official as if they were from the Social Security Administration. What are some of the most common ways we see scams? The fraudster is trying to impersonate Social Security in some way to try to get your personal information. You know, when we're dealing with scams, we have to think about what's the end game for the scam artist. And with this, it's obtaining your personal information so that they can use that information for identity theft purposes. Sometimes they will threaten that your Social Security is going to be suspended or your benefits are going to be terminated. They might offer to help you with some sort of free service that would be free if it was through Social Security, but they're going to want to charge you. Maybe it's, we think you need a new Social Security card. If you pay us money, we're going to help you get a new Social Security card. So you have to watch out for all of those. How prevalent is this type of scam? Well, in 2019, the National Council on Aging listed Social Security scam calls among the 3 frauds raising the most concern. And the Federal Trade Commission says that the calls and their impact are, quote, growing exponentially, end quote, and said that in 2018, there were in excess of 63,000 reports of scam security calls with a median financial loss to the victims of $1,484. That's a lot of money to anybody, but especially to somebody who's trying to live on Social Security. Lots of different techniques get used, spoofing techniques. I'm sure you've heard of spoofing before. You'll look at your caller ID and it'll say you're getting a call from the Social Security Administration, or it's going to show the Social Security Administration toll-free hotline. Doesn't mean it's real. We have to be very vigilant when it comes to phone calls. So if you get on that call and you hear red flags, and you're going to hear more about red flags here in a minute, if you hear those, please just hang up. Don't play games with them. Don't talk to them. Don't let them have an opportunity to record your voice. As soon as you get the sense that something's not right, please hang up. The scam artists might identify themselves as an official with the Social Security Administration. You can easily Google to find out who the current Inspector General is for the Social Security Administration, and they may claim to be that person. I can assure you the Inspector General for the Social Security Administration is not going to call you. And sometimes they can be downright threatening. They will go so far as to say you're going to be arrested or sued, or some other action will be taken if you don't provide your personal information. So please heed the advice that you're about to hear from my friends Pat and Jane, and take good care of yourself. Watch out for these scams. Katie, back to you.
Thank you, Judy. That is some impressive information. We very much appreciate it. Jane, did you want to expand upon that?
Oh, I would indeed. Thank you so much. That's great information, Judy. And the AARP Fraud Watch Network has a toll-free hotline that you can call if you have any questions, or you think you've been scammed, or you just want to find out a little bit more about the things that we're talking about today. You know, you can just call that toll-free number. It's 1-877-908-3360. One of the scams that we're hearing about that's very hot right now, in truth, is there's a scam going around where somebody actually pretends to be from the Social Security Administration, but they're there to help you because they're going to tell you that your account has actually been suspended, your Social Security account, due to suspicious activity. And if you'd like to hear more about your case, you simply press 1 or 2 on your phone. So here's my advice. Don't press anything. hang up the phone. It's a scam, I can assure you. The Social Security Administration is not going to call you and leave such a message. And what happens is if you press a 1 or a 2, you're just getting into their cycle. Now they know that you have a live telephone and there's a live person there on the other end of it, and they're going to come back at you with more lies and more effort to steal your hard-earned money from you and your family. So just hang up the phone. And a couple of other preventive measures that I would sincerely advise. First of all, like we've just said, hang up that phone. Report the crime. If you get a suspicious call and you're not sure about what to do, you can call your local police or sheriff's department. You can call any one of us. You can also call that AARP Fraud Watch Network toll-free hotline number I mentioned. We are all here for you. We have a no wrong door approach. We're all going to help no matter who you call. So there's that, hanging up the phone and reporting. We also highly recommend that you check your credit card statements and your bank statements very regularly for any suspicious activity, no matter how small the amount. If you see something you don't recognize on those statements, call immediately to verify that charge. You also want to make sure that you check your credit report every year. You can do so for free. There are 3 credit bureaus and you can check for free with each one of them every year. So if you stagger it, you can actually check your credit report every 4 months at absolutely no cost. And finally, please place a freeze on your credit report. This is so important. I'm sure everybody's being very, very diligent about, making sure you're not handing out your social security number to everybody who asks for it. Protect that number. But if, God forbid, somebody actually got a hold of your social security number, if you have a freeze on your credit report, it greatly minimizes the damage from the theft. And you can find much more about that at the AARP Fraud Watch Network website.
That is absolutely wonderful, Jane. Thank you so much for that information. We're going to move over to Pat Hood, who's going to talk about some tactics that you can use to protect yourself.
So good afternoon, friends. Back again for some more information. Really, our goal here is to help you protect yourself from all of these scams. Today, we're talking about Social Security scams, but there's a variety of these types of scams out there. But think about it, when you get the phone call or the email or even the mailing and you sense that there's some urgency there, it has to happen right now, I need you to stop what you're doing and call immediately. That's a concern. Know that most places do not operate on that level. And all 4 of us understand that if you're looking at an interruption in your Social Security benefit, whether it's retirement benefit, disability benefit, or even survivor benefits, we know that's a big deal. It's likely your main income source. Just take a minute, and if you have a question, call Social Security yourself. Don't use the number that was provided to you, either through the email or on the message that was left. Look it up yourself. And if you're not sure what it is, ask another family member to help you or ask law enforcement. Those are some things that we can do and hopefully keep you out of the pitfalls of some of these traps. Email. Typically, a phone call or an email from the Social Security number is something that you've set up previously, meaning you had a relationship at some point with Social Security to get your benefits package set up. So think back, what information did you provide them? I guarantee you they are not keeping up with a change in your cell phone number, a change in your email account. They probably do want to know about a change in mailing address. But think, when those come to you, is this something that I would have provided to them? And that may stop it right there to bring the reality to this particular situation. And really the last thing I'll leave you with is think about that threatening tone. If they're telling you to do something right now, if they're mad, if they're nasty, everyone's entitled to a bad day, and I'm sure we've all had them. But as a professional that represents the Social Security Administration, I'm quite certain that just like the Inspector General calling, those things don't happen. So whenever you have that sense of urgency, either hang up the phone, and I guarantee you're not going to offend anybody, or call with a question. Someone you trust, run the scenario by them and see what they have to say. Again, in an effort to protect you from separating the scammer from your money.
That's some great tips. we're going to move into some closing thoughts. Judy, did you have anything that you wanted to close with?
Yes, thanks, Katie. Just a couple of thoughts. Don't forget about your children as well, because children can be receiving survivor benefits and they have Social Security numbers. So we need to protect those Social Security numbers as well. As Jane said, you can, you have the ability in Maine to set up a credit report for your child and freeze it so that their identity won't be stolen either. Last thoughts, everybody said it. If it smells like a scam, just hang up. Breathe, take a few minutes, and then seek help. Reach out to one of us. We will help you figure it out. Trusted family member, trusted law enforcement, trusted government agency, trusted organization like AARP. Reach out to us. Shut down the scam artists and reach out to us.
Excellent advice. Jane, did you have anything you wanted to leave with?
I just want to remind everybody watching, you can be your own best fraud fighter. You do not need to be the next victim. You are armed with everything that you need to protect yourself and your family. And we've gone through all the preventive things that you can do, but you know what to do. You know when something just, as Judy said, it smells a little fishy and it just doesn't feel right. And you know that's your moment to take your control as a great fraud fighter in the state of Maine.
That's wonderful advice. Pat, is there anything you would like to close with?
Only I'd just like to add to what Jane just said. Be a detective. Do the work yourself if you feel comfortable, but do not engage with these people. They're very good at what they do, and there's no benefit to getting into an argument saying, you know what, I've caught you. Zero benefit other than you may be the subject of multiple calls at every hour of the day because they're going to get back at you. So do your own investigation, but when you need a hand, reach out to one of us.
This is all excellent information. We will make sure that all of this is included in the description below. Thank you once again for joining us for for more tips on keeping yourself safe from scams. Have a great week.